Yo, what up? All right. We got another one from CMTOWN. We got another one from CMTOWN. This is Eric Clapton. Eric Clapton. Um, Not familiar with Eric Clapton's work. I know he's a musician. You know what I'm saying? I know he's in music. Just not familiar with his music. I'm pretty sure he's got a lot of good songs, amazing songs. Just not familiar with them. Maybe I need to check out some Eric Clapton. I don't know, but yeah, the Eric Clapton come down. Let's check it out. I don't know.
I could change the world if I could change the world. I would put you in my ass and you'd live there. I would put you inside of my fucking ass. If I could change the world, I would make you tiny and put you in my ass. You could control me with a bunch of levers and make me move. It wouldn't be gay, I'd be some kind of robot. It wouldn't be gay. It wouldn't be gay. I would be a robot, not a gay man. I'd be some kind of big robot, or I'd be regular size and you'd be tiny. It wouldn't be gay, you'd have to control me with wires and buttons. I would be some sort of Mecharo Gundam. I would be a Gundam and you would just live in my ass.
Everybody singing.
And people ask me, you know, obviously this song is filled with symbolism. And,
Eric Clapton's English.
You know, I'm always surprised because
British.
It's probably one of the most literal songs.
Right, yes. People ask me, Eric, what's the song about?
They're like, Eric, this was the second song you made after your son's unfortunate
one of the
death.
most literal songs I've ever written. It's quite frankly, if I could change the universe,
Tears in Heaven was about
What
my
happened to
son
Eric Clapton's
dying,
son?
I would make myself either very large or I would select, a pilot is my preferred, to live inside my ass. Live inside my ass. Control me as if I were a giant robot.
Right.
Wouldn't be
that's
changing
true.
much about the world.
Well, it would be. That
I
was
have no
a
idea
small
what his
man in
speaking
the
voice
ass.
sounds like.
I don't either.
Something like that.
Yeah.
He's pretty chill, though. Cocaine. He loved
That's
cocaine.
cool, dude. Yeah.
I remember listening to that song when I was like 12 and being like, hell yeah, dude, I love cocaine.
Yeah, I
That
could
was a
shrink
song?
you down and let you live inside my ass.
I'm not gay. It's not gay. It's not gay.
You could control me with a bunch of levers. They say that an artist should always diversify, but I always thought that the most interesting thing to me, lyrically, is exploring the same theme over and over again.
Right.
The instrumentation to change, because then you really challenge yourself.
Yep.
Because people are going to say, no matter what, the instant criticism is going to be, you've already covered this. We know you want to be either a giant robot or have a partner of some sort that's shrunken down to live inside your ass.
Right.
To control you with wires and levers.
That's right.
we know this about you.
Everybody knows that.
We're familiar with this.
That's why Cream has to break up.
Yeah.
You keep talking about it.
When I was with the Yardbirds, I was always pushing for some kind of, we'd do live shows, and this was before Tool, who I really credit with changing the live.
Oh yeah, Tool.
I wanted to project a video of me as some kind of dying alien that's sick from doing too much meditation.
Right.
And Tool stole that idea. I said,
really?
Yes.
Tool?
I
You
said-
get kind of a jump on
I
Tool.
wanted to, yes. Initially,
Yeah, like
I had the
30
idea
years.
of spending an $80 million laser show setup where there's a pyramid and we go inside the pyramid. It's very similar to a man going inside another man's ass.
Right.
If I asked several people and they told me it was impossible to do with lasers. That the only thing that lasers could create was some kind of alien that's throwing up from doing too much yoga.
Right. Not
It's
not
an
a guy
alien
in another
who's-
guy's ass.
who's aligned his chakras to the extent that now he's dying in space prison.
It's too much. He's
Yeah.
too enlightened.
and they kicked me out of the band for that. And then
Out of Tool.
yes, and
Eric Clapton was in Tool.
I had one interview with Tool. I was trying to be in Tool, and they stole my idea.
Well, that's so fucked.
So what are your?
I submitted a packet to Tool,
And
and
I
I just saw my own bit there.
And then I had lunch with my best friend Paul McCartney. Probably. My very good friend
My
Paul.
best friend
Yeah,
Paul.
so-
the,
Paul.
the only guy I know. Actually. And I told him, I think where this went wrong, because this was the greatest tragedy in my life. Probably the worst thing that's ever happened to me was being rejected by Tool and then having them steal my idea for the sick alien.
That has to be painful.
Yes. And yeah, really nothing else rings a
I
bell.
don't know who Tool is.
My life's been pretty good.
Really?
I bet, yeah, it's been it's almost magical, really.
Right.
And I said to him, I got to go back to the robot thing.
Do you know that?
I said,
I need to get back to my roots.
this was all due to me departing from my original idea of solely pursuing one artistic expression my entire life, which is that I want to be, either a giant robot or a regular-sized robot with a friend who lives inside my ass.
And that's when I wrote the song.
Thank you, Eric.
When I wrote the film The Lion King, a lot of people don't know that. I was actually the screenwriter of The Lion King.
Really?
Created the story and came up with it. And originally it was about...
Was Timon originally in Pumbaa's ass?
that was correct. It was, I imagined an ancient African golem who tricks a young lion cub into living in his ass.
Wow.
And the lion cub grows to full size inside of his ass. And it's very similar to the story of, I believe it was Hercules carrying an oxen
Right.
around his house or something.
Yeah, I believe so.
And he had a blue oxen, and as it grew older, that's what made him. That's how he became John Revere.
Right.
If you remember the Roman story of John Henry versus the Machine.
Right.
So we said,
Fable.
what if we did a version of that set in Africa?
There we go.
And that's where the Lion King came from. And at the time, I was really thinking a lot more about that robot. It's sort of a lifelong obsession.
Yeah.
And that derailed the story, and my interview to write The Lion King never went past that first interview.
You've interviewed for a lot of interesting showbiz jobs.
But they kept the
being
name.
in Tool.
The greatest tragedies of my life was being declined for the position of head screenwriter of The Lion King. And they stole my idea.
Yeah, well, it seems like it was a different idea.
No.
I
it was
went
similar.
in 1983. I went to Disney and I said, "Let's do a children's movie set in Africa about a giant robot with a man who lives in his house." And
Right.
Called The Lion King?
it was called Terminator 2. And I can't prove it, obviously. But what happens? 10 years later,
Right.
They make Terminator 1.
Disney releases a movie set in Africa for children.
That's right.
And that
So
doesn't...
wait, I'm sorry. Had Terminator 1 come out?
No,
I'm sorry, but you don't
pitched
need to be-
Terminator 2, and then they had to make a Terminator 1 to steal his idea for Terminator
You don't need to
2.
be a giant crime-solving robot to figure out
Right, what happened with
what
the man in his
happened
ass?
with a man in his ass. Figure that out.
Who's pulling levers to control him?
It's not necessary. You can see clear as day what happened there was. They were so
It
intimidated
was
by
dastardly.
Yes.
Downright fucked up, Eric.
Yes.
Well, thanks for joining us for the first part of the CMTOWN. We're trying to have more mainstream guests.
We're trying to become
That's
more
our
like
interview
Rogan.
with Eric Clapton, everyone.
Yeah, thanks
Do you have any
joining us.
questions for me?
Yeah. So, when you were in Cream,
Yeah, we're Derek and the Dominoes, of course. So many great projects.
Yes.
how
thank
about
you.
this? Why did you do this?
Do you have any? Maybe perhaps either one of you. I'm not familiar with either of you.
Yeah, sure.
Intimately, but if either one of you want to use this joke setup to demonstrate your knowledge of Eric Clapton's
Thank you.
actual
Thank you, I appreciate that.
portfolio.
I just did that kind
If
of.
there's any,
Well, I was going to ask you.
if that would be very funny to you,
Right. I was
would,
actually
I
going to
think
say,
there's
was
probably
the
some
band
people
Cream named after when you would come coming out of your cock?
Oh no, I've
When the
never
men-
thought about that actually.
Really?
Yeah.
No, we were sitting around trying to come up with a name for a band.
Of
and we
course.
were at Denny's.
Yeah.
Was,
Your daddy's in.
Oh, for your coffee.
in England,
in London.
The first one. There's a lot of people don't know that the first Denny's was in London.
Really?
Yeah.
And I was having a moons over my hammy,
Of course.
and the other members of Cream, Paul McCartney,
Right.
and Elton John.
Elton John, that's right.
Yeah.
They're sitting at Denny's
And
in Piccadilly Circus, right? The Denny's at Piccadilly Circus.
If I remember correctly, Paul McCartney was having the Southwestern crazy cowboy tortilla soup, and Elton John was eating a bowl of gum.
Did he bring it himself?
He brought his own. He brought his own. Yes, he did. He would bring a bowl of cum everywhere, and he would lick at it like a kitten.
This is even when he was pretending to be straight.
This was when he was pretending to be a kitten.
Oh,
He was-
okay.
Yeah, it was a period. People forget. He went straight, then cat, then gay.
It was kind of a.
It was really, I almost blame that Cats phase
On
for
him
because
turning
he
full
became
gay.
obsessed, absolutely obsessed with Mr. Mistopheles.
Right, who is cool? I don't know if he listened to us, but I thought he was pretty cool.
Yeah, we
from
talked
Cats.
about him on our show.
You know,
before.
Do you like Mr. Mistopheles,
Well, I just-
Eric?
In 1983, I
Oh no, this is
No,
your
went to
idea.
Broadway.
Let's hear it.
I went to Broadway and I
Okay.
said, I got an idea for a musical.
Right.
And it's about a man who is
A giant.
okay. They're pushing me out of the office.
Where is it set?
And it's this one's set in New York City.
Wow.
And it's Christmas time. And the man, he's become lost because he got on the wrong plane when his family's going on vacation. And the only way he can get back to Chicago and avoid the two robbers that are after him is if a man lives in his ass and
It
controls
directs him there.
And he needs...
This is a grown man. It's a grown man who's separated from his family.
Named Kevin
Yes,
McAllister.
he's a grown man named Kevin McAllister.
Yeah.
And lo and behold, 3 years later, Cats, the musical.
Wow.
This is the same plot.
So you're pissed about that. Have you ever heard of the movie Home Alone, Eric?
Home Alone 2, I believe.
Home Alone 2?
Yeah,
I have.
Lost
I've
in
seen
New
it.
York.
I think that's just a coincidence.
I think
I think it's parallel thinking.
That's parallel
The parallel
But The
thinking.
Lion King about a man, a crime-fighting
I think
robot.
that's a simple case of parallel thinking. It's really all that.
Oh, okay. That's interesting.
So we're at Denny's.
You're right. And Elton, who's obsessed at this time with Mr. Mephistopheles.
Mr. Mistopheles.
And he's lapping up cum.
Who even by your own estimation, you thought up of in 1983.
Yes.
So this is the 60s. So Elton is obsessed with a different guy named Mr. Mephistopheles.
I had told him the
You
idea.
told him in broad strokes the
I
idea.
told him my idea for Home Alone 2. And he said, I want to hear more about this. Mr.
And so
Mistopheles."
just to be clear, in your idea for Cats,
For
Home Alone 2.
No.
My idea for a movie about the man who's a robot who's lost from his family. He's
called Cats.
being pursued. Well, no,
It's called Home Alone 2.
No, it's called A Scanner Darkly. He's pursued by two robbers. One magical Mr.
Robert Downey
Mistopheles.
Is he a cat?
He's a large cat.
Okay.
And the other one, his name is Dr. Manhattan. And he's blue, and you can see his penis.
Oh, that's scary.
So Eric Clapton's Scanner Darkly. He's the plot of Kevin Home
There's
Alone.
this guy
Interesting.
named Kevin McAllister.
Interesting. So he had loved this guy so much that he started lapping up cum at
He
Denny's.
would bring his own bowl of cum everywhere to eat like a kitten because it's actually
Just head
illegal.
first.
It's illegal to transport milk across state lines
There's states in London, in England.
in the English states.
English
the
states,
United
yes.
States of England.
They have 50.
Yeah.
Which is what it was called at the time.
I didn't know
A
that.
lot of people don't know that the Brit invasion was actually a cultural exchange program. So
y'all, as you would say,
Right,
got,
thank you.
rock and roll from us,
Mm-hmm.
and in exchange we got Denny's and States,
I thought you said the first Denny's was from England.
but it was based on IHOP.
I see.
It was an American theme.
Wow, I had no idea.
Diner. Yeah, they did not have diners
Interesting.
in London. Everyone would just eat. Come. There was
Right.
a bowl.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was the first. So Elton was.
So Elton must have been pissed that everything got so Americanized that they stopped selling cum at restaurants.
That's why he'd have to bring.
No, but I thought he brought. Yeah.
Well, yeah.
He'd have to bring
yeah.
his own cum.
Right.
So we thought it would be a funny prank to replace his cum with cream. With heavy
Did that
cream
piss him
while he was
off?
in the bathroom. He's highly allergic,
Oh,
and so he died.
that's funny.
What?
And he was replaced. And Elton John, the new guy now.
So that's a different. So this
I have
Elton
no idea
John
who that guy is.
is another
Completely
coincidence.
different guy. The first Elton John was black.
So you had a gay friend named Elton John.
He's a black man.
It was black. It was from Africa. He said he's from Africa.
He was a Nigerian. And he would wear sandals everywhere.
Was he
dressed
good
up
at
like-
music?
No, he was never.
But he was still in cream
Well, I
with you
met
and
him when
Paul.
I was scouting locations for my idea for a film about a giant man who has a friend who lives in his house. And I went down to Nigeria to see because it came to me in a dream.
Right.
And I had the dream right after eating a bunch of bananas. And
Sure.
at the time, had been reading a lot of Jungian psychology, and he talked extensively about how your dreams actually come from the country where
With the fruit. The fruit that you eat before going to sleep. And because you had bananas, you thought you should go to Nigeria.
Which is the word where they're from.
That's exactly right.
That's where they're from.
I don't know if that's exactly right, though.
That's exactly right.
I mean, I believe that that's your thought process, Eric, but I don't think that's correct. There's multiple things wrong with that statement.
And so that's when you met Sir Elton John.
And I met Elton John.
First one.
He picked me up at the airport. He was my cab driver. And I said, I want you to come back to England, and I'm going to teach you how to make music.
Yeah.
So, okay, let me ask you this. Have you ever what's the closest you've gotten to having a man in your ass pulling levers?
Yeah. Have you ever lived your
Have you
truth?
tried it?
I'm here now. I stopped by here
Why?
in New York to do just a couple of podcasts, and I'm trying to work my way up to Joe Rogan. Because I want Joe Rogan to introduce me to Elon Musk.
Oh.
And I'm going to proposition him, basically,
okay.
and say, if you present me, Eric Clapton, with the proper funding and research, obviously, that his companies are capable of to create or turn me either into a giant robot man or possibly shrink another human. You would obviously need two different research teams to look into it.
Right.
Correct.
If we can go down either path that results in us accomplishing this goal, our goal, in my lifetime, I'll suck his cock.
That's what you have to offer?
That's it.
And
That's the
I
plan.
spent all my money trying to do it myself,
Right.
and I believe you guys would call it fucked up.
Right, yeah.
I don't particularly like using curse words, but in this instance, it's warranted.
Sure.
I don't cuss.
You don't cuss.
I don't cuss.
You made that very clear in the
That was a
pre-interview
quote of
process.
I don't think that an artist should ever use swear words. That's why I think, this Donald Trump guy is just
Oh, wow.
it's because
Interesting.
He's
He doesn't really cuss that much.
well, there's a lot of reasons. Not like my reason is that he uses cuss words.
Right,
Oh, okay.
right. So you're going to do CMTOWN, and then what other
I'm
pods do you
trying
have
to work
lined
my
up?
way up to Joe Rogan.
Are you
but
doing the guys who fucked?
I blew all my money because I got a Home Depot credit card.
Oh crap!
And Well, they have beef jerky there.
Oh, you didn't even buy
I
something
didn't
to build
even
the
think
robot.
about it. No, I started. I spent maybe $7,000 on PVC piping.
Okay,
And,
it's a good start.
and a lot of switches. I thought about. They have very luxury switches.
Like electrical switches?
Well, my whole house is filled with bicentennial commemorative light switch plates.
Right.
Because I had a period where I was obsessed with the Revolutionary War after seeing the movie Wild Wild West, which I had mistakenly identified as a revolutionary.
That's the symbol.
Right.
Because we don't have-
It's tough to, it gets confused.
We've never had a war in England, so we don't.
British, yeah.
So we don't even know. No one, most people in England have never even heard of the Revolutionary War.
Yeah.
What about World War II?
No, I don't think so.
You've never heard of it?
I don't.
You personally, have you ever heard of
haven't.
World War II?
But I saw Wild Wild West, and I said, "This spider, eerily close to
The
my idea of
spider.
going."
Oh, fuck.
that's
Had you ever
right.
pitched that?
I can't say. I did have sex with Kevin Klein, but I can't say that. I mean, it's possible. He maybe read one of my notes about my idea for a giant man.
You think Kevin
sounds
Klein
pretty close.
looked at your diary?
But that's fair for you to say it might be parallel thinking.
It might
as
be
well.
parallel thinking. The
Yeah.
giant
Well,
spider.
you're very gracious, Eric.
That's very
Thank you
gracious.
for all your time.
Well, I'm one of the greatest.
Guitarists.
That's exactly what I am.
Yep.
That's exactly.
And did
what I
you
am.
did
Certainly
you
not
and
that.
thinkers.
Yes, I can't even. Often I forget
what you
just
play?
exactly who I am.
Right. Well, you're Eric Clapton.
Yes.
And we thank you for being on.
Well, I was obsessed with the Revolutionary War, so I replaced
Right.
all the
Oh,
light
yeah.
switch covers in my house
Right.
with bicentennial commemorative plates.
Yeah, which will be worth something.
And I've
assuming.
thrown out all of my regular light switch covers. And of course, half of them ended up inside my ass. And,
So you were just
So you have the switches there.
you have the switches and the pulleys and
ready
the
to go.
levers.
well, when I went to Home Depot, they have nicer ones now. So I went dimmer switches in my whole house.
Your ass.
Oh yeah.
But then they
Your
got
ass or your house?
in my house.
Have you considered maybe a clapper?
But they got stuck at 10%, and it's damaged my vision because it's dark. It's like living in a cavern,
Right.
which I am training myself now because I'm in a low light situation, which I imagine if it can't be me that's the robot, perhaps I could live in someone else's.
You want to be the guy in someone's
And
ass.
so I'm training my eyes now, just in case when I
To
eventually
live in an ass.
when I meet Elon and we get further into the project, maybe we're talking 20 years. I'll probably let's see now. I've got to be me, Eric Clapton. I've got to be somewhere in between the ages of 50 and 90 years old.
Yeah.
I want to say 75.
Yeah, that sounds
That
about
sounds
right.
correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was famous in
The 60s,
70s?
Yeah.
That sounds also
Damn.
And well into the 90s even.
right. So
Yeah,
I've
a
got to
long
be
career.
pretty fucking old. So
Right.
I meet Elon, and then we're maybe a 20-year roadmap before we're talking about a situation where it's feasible to have one man live in another man's ass. And at that
Live in a
point,
man's ass.
my body might not be able to handle the big and mechanization surgery.
Right. But you'll be smaller and maybe fit more easily into a man's ass.
So I might have to be the one that lives in the ass, in which case
And you're fine with that.
the only prerequisite is that my eyes are adjusted to a low light situation. So in a sort of roundabout way it worked out that I had that big mess up with the bicentennial plates after getting so excited about the giant spider.
Yeah,
Right.
that's a screw up right there.
Yeah. Well, no, I'm saying it ended
It ended up being
serendipitous.
fortuitous.
Yeah.
And you know what? You actually are 30 years old. Or 75 years old. You were born on March 30th.
March 30th, great day.
Classic day.
Classic birthday.
Did you know you're the only three-time inductee to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame?
I did know that.
Yeah.
I did know that. And also, I came up with the idea for the hot dog eating contest in Coney Island.
Oh, on 4th of July.
Yeah.
Wow.
I was down there and I went into Nathan's
come?
Hot Dogs and I had one of the hot dogs and I said, "This was great. I'd like to meet the owner, I'm Eric Clapton." Because you go places. We brought it over, you go to diners in the United States, and I was one of the first people to give them my headshot and put it on.
Oh, wow.
You came up with that.
And yeah, you can
Wow.
you can actually go to the original IHOP in Columbus, Ohio, and on there on the wall is the very first headshot. and it's a picture of me, and 15 years old.
15.
When my first album came out. And it says on there, the food was so good, I wish I could jam it up my ass and let it. I feel like the food is in my ass controlling me.
And then that was kind of the precursor.
Thanks for everything. Thanks for dinner. Thanks for the dinner you made for me. And they said, what do we do with this? And I said, put it on the wall.
Put it up on the fucking wall. What do you mean, what do you do with it?
In 15 years, the Italians will be doing this. I'm telling you, I know. The Italians, they copy everything. Ferrari, that was my idea.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I said, what if a car went so fast?
that it was gay?
That you could charge $1 billion for it.
That's awesome.
Your idea.
Now let me ask you.
I came up with that.
Really, you to do a car that was really fast?
Yes, I said that to Elton John, the original, of course.
Of
For
course.
the black one.
Now let me ask you: have you ever sucked a man's cock?
Of course. I'm British. That's a part of it. That's how you graduate
That's 8th
from
grade,
middle
yeah.
school to high school. Is the cocksucking test.
Have you ever seen Keith Richards' penis?
Probably.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
That's to the same degree. I'm probably 75 years old.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you so much, Eric. Unless you have anything else you wanted to talk about, we could get our co-host Nick in here.
Oh, there's another person.
There's another guy.
No, I don't know. I kind of like it.
You like the vibe? You like the vibe,
Yeah.
Eric?
This guy Eric's pretty chill.
Eric, don't say this guy, Eric. Eric.
Sir Eric is pretty chill.
He's our fucking guest.
I do have one bone to pick.
Please.
What is it? Let's hear it.
I mean, and other people have mentioned it to me. That's the only reason I know.
Sure.
It seems that this premise was stolen entirely from me.
Oh no! Really?
The premise of the show.
Of this
Cumtown?
Of the I mean, I don't.
You don't want to say that word.
I don't want to. But in
You don't cuss.
1997, I heard Car Talk, and I approached CMTOWN. I said I want to do a show.
Right.
But this time it's 3 people instead of 2. And instead of talking about cars, one of them is huge.
Okay.
He's a robot. The other one lives in his ass. And the third person steals jokes.
Interesting. Well, the thing is,
The third person is Jewish.
he's Jewish and he steals jokes. Okay. Well, we're really sorry, man. We didn't even. know.
It sounds like a good show.
Yeah.
And it's called the Legion of Scams.
That's true. Dave is
Well, we
Jewish.
don't really have a guy in anybody's ass. Now, you nailed us on that other element, though. But
I brought this idea to everybody, and no one can.
Everyone
no
passed?
one will have it done, and that's why I say to this day, if I could change the world, the one thing that I would do is shrink someone down.
that's right. That's how this started, because we were singing that song.
It's about what I would do if I could change the world.
Well, do you want to play us off with one final rendition of that song?
Oh no.
Okay, all right. Well, thanks, Eric.
Okay, I'll be in the men's bathroom. Ruth's Chris.
Nice.
If anyone wants to take a look at some blueprints in one of the stalls.
Oh, that's your office, kind of.
Yes,
Like Fonzie.
I've set up shop in the bathroom of the Dunkin' Donuts on Fulton and Nostrum.
I thought you said Ruth Chris.
Well, I'll be there tonight. So the after party.
It's a party for working on getting...
For the podcast.
I rented out the bathroom at Ruth's Chris from the Tuesdays with Stories podcast.
you're doing Tuesdays, too.
I did Tuesdays, and Joe List, he said to me that I could use his office.
He's a
Joe
good
List.
guy.
Yes, he said I could borrow the master bedroom. The executive suite.
So you know Joe List.
Yeah.
I met Joe List, in
That's
fact.
awesome.
They're friends. They have a mutual friend, Dominic Strauss-Kahn, actually.
When I met Joseph and his friend Mark, I said, you guys work so well together. Have you ever considered that maybe Mark could live inside their ass?
Right.
Right. And they said, yes, we've heard your idea, man.
Thanks, Eric. Yep.
Eric, can you please leave? And then they stole the idea for the podcast for me.
That's so fucked up. Well, thank you, Eric, and I guess you can keep staying here if you like.
No, I think that's good. I think maybe half the episode is
About time is human.
That's.
Eric Clapton.
Thank you, Eric Clapton.
Thank you, Eric.
Or as I like to call him, Eric Clap them ass cheek.
Clapton.
Ah. Oh my goodness. So that's Eric Clapton. That's Eric Clapton. I don't think I learned anything about Eric Clapton. Well, Stavros did say that he was a 3 or 4 time inductee to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. So I did learn that, you know. And Nick was Eric Clapton. Nick was Eric Clapton for a minute, or his version of Eric Clapton, who wanted another man living inside of his ass, controlling him. And if need be, he would live in another man's ass and control him. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Yeah, Eric Clapton. Eric Clapton. He said he said the first Elton John was black. Oh man. Elton John. Was from Nigeria. And then the dream came to him, or it came to him in the dream after eating bananas. Jesus Christ. Man. Yeah, that was a long one. That was a long one. Like I said, a lot of Eric Clapton, and I don't think I learned a damn thing about Eric Clapton. Except about the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Or maybe that is who Eric Clapton is. Maybe Nick's impression was spot on, and that's actually what Eric Clapton wants. I don't know. Probably need to go check out some of his music.